Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Woman Behind the Makeup with Nina Emilio. Every week we're gonna dive in to a new episode with a badass entrepreneurial woman who is gonna talk to us about love, life, beauty, ambitions, how she started her career. I know I need it in this difficult time. I'm sure all of you will, and I hope you enjoy and love it. Today on Woman Behind the Makeup, we have my very first guest, Christine. So Christine is the creator of the Ginger Journals. She is a published author, speaker, and marketing executive. She has been creating stories since she was old enough to hold a pen. She has co-authored an award-winning book with Canadian publisher Golden Brick Road Publishing House. She is currently the lead author on an upcoming book called Fearless, and it's coming out in 2021. Welcome, Christine. How are you today, Christine?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
You're my first guest. You're my guinea pig. So we'll see how this goes.
I'm happy to be a guinea pig.
Thank you. So after I was reading your bio that you sent me, I had no idea that you were a social worker. So what drew you to the field initially, and what was kind of the moment where you were like, oh, this is like not for me?
So I almost got social worker status. I was actually in school working on my human services degree when I dropped out.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to be a helper. I've always been naturally a helper. I love working with people. I've always been, the friend that, has the shoulders that people are crying on all the time. And I just was like, I'm going to just help people, be a counselor. And then my mom got really sick and I ended up having to work with a lot of social workers. And I just saw how burnt out and overworked and stressed out they were. And I was like, oh my God, this does not seem like any fun at all. So at that point, I stepped away to help care for my mom, and then I just never went back. And I realized that I can help people through marketing and writing, and it's a much better fit for me.
Absolutely. Social worker is not for the faint of heart. Like,
No.
It takes a very special individual to be a social worker. So right now, I'm going through a lot of changes in my life. What advice would you give to women wanting to change careers? I know a lot of people out there are facing new changes with what's going on, but what advice would you give to a woman who wants to change careers, maybe even at a later age?
Oh, I just say go for it. Like, life is so short. And it's just too short to waste time, right? We just have to go after what we want and what's going to make us happy and what's going to fill our cup. And obviously with COVID and this pandemic, it's been so challenging for so many people. And I just think it's important to maintain perspective, because it's really easy to get caught up in this kind of pity party and like, oh, it's so hard and I have to wear a mask, and maybe people are facing layoffs and being isolated from their families. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really important to maintain perspective and keep our chin up, and be open to the lessons and the growth that we're going to experience during this time, and the opportunities that might present themselves that maybe we wouldn't have had
seen before.
Yeah.
I agree. So here with Women Behind the Makeup, the whole point of it is just to talk to a badass woman who is an entrepreneurial, who is, achieves all of her goals, and we talk about everything from like makeup, beauty, life, mm-hmm. love. So I'm going to start, as you can see, I have like no eye makeup on. I'm going to start doing my makeup with some of my favorite products, just my day-to-day getting ready. And then Christine and I are just going to like chat about everything from life, love, career, achievement, everything. So I'm going to start. I haven't done this before, putting makeup on and talking at the same time. So we'll see how this, I might have like eyeliner like down my face, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know, Christine probably has some of her favorite products that she's gonna talk about or use today. So I'm gonna start with my eyes, and I'm just gonna do like a really everyday look with some cream eyeshadows that I love. So awesome. As I'm doing this, we'll see how this goes. My next question is, before we get into like all of your achievement with your writing, you
are a mother of 2 boys.
Yes. Yeah.
And now they're teenagers, right?
They are, yeah. My little guy
how's that?
It's crazy. Yeah, I also I have a bonus daughter as well, so I'm dealing with 3 teenagers and like a full spectrum of hormones all over the map. It's a lot of fun though. They always make me laugh and they always teach me something. It's scary though. Having teenagers is scary. Like right now, just with everything, you know, like it was scary, I'm sure, for my mom, like when I was a teenager, and now it
now
just
you
seems,
know what your mother went through.
now it seems so much worse though, like with social media and, you know, drugs and all of it. So it's pretty terrifying, but it's pretty rewarding too. I love being a mom. It's definitely my favorite job.
Yeah. My mom always says to me that she just hopes that I have a daughter just like me. It's her only wish that she has a daughter just like
Oh my god, yeah. My oldest son is a lot like me, and it's pretty scary. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that's all right. We'll get through it.
Have they started dating yet?
Yeah, Davin, my oldest guy, he's 16. He had a girlfriend a couple years ago, and it's just so weird. Like, you know, he's rocking his hickeys.
Mother-in-law.
I know, and I'm worried I'm going to be one of those terrible mother-in-laws, you know, that's like, you know,
monster-in-law?
Yeah, just overly involved and bossy and kind of jealous. So, yeah. Stay tuned. Well, we hope not.
That's so funny. So what is your like typical makeup routine? I'm like going to town here. I put a lot of makeup on, but what's your typical like day-to-day routine?
Oh, okay. So as you know, because we talked about this, I don't go anywhere without mascara because I'm a redhead, and redheads, I won't speak for all redheads, but I think I look like a lizard if I'm not wearing mascara because we have blonde eyelashes. And honestly, if I'm not wearing like under eye concealer and blush and mascara, people think I'm ill. Like, you would be amazed at how many times I've like,
I get that too.
seriously, I'll be walking like through the grocery store and then I'll see someone that I recognize, and if I'm not wearing any makeup, you can watch their face drop and they get all concerned and they're like, are you feeling all right? You look so tired. And I'm like, thanks, like I feel fine, but clearly I look terrible. So yeah, I just rock like some mascara and under eye concealer and blush normally.
Yeah. What's your favorite product? Do you have like a favorite serum?
Yes. Okay, so I'm in love. I brought it to show you. I don't even know how to say it. The Sahajan. I'm not saying it properly, but I use their whole line of like toner.
You can link it below.
We'll link it below. I absolutely love their stuff. I go and chat with Nikki from the Green Vanity here in Kelowna, and she's amazing. She's so knowledgeable. I highly recommend her for all things kind of skincare, and so she introduced me to this line, and it has been a game changer. I have super problem skin. I feel like my whole life I just waited for like bigger boobs and clear skin, and now that I'm 39, I'm just like, that's never gonna happen. So
my favorite serum is the By Terry CC Hyaluronic. It's kind of tinted, and then I got hooked on it when I lived in London, and then of course I worked in Harrods, so I had a discount. Then when I came back to Canada, I saw the difference in the money exchange and no discount. And like scraping the end of the bottle to make it work.
That's awesome.
It was funny actually when you said that you look like a lizard without mascara on. It made me think of this really funny story. My sister and I were in Mexico, and there was this like cafe called Lizard, and whenever we would go to it, we would tell my brother-in-law, like, meet us at Lizard, and he'd be like, where? I'd be like, we're at Lizard. And he's like, the cafe Lizard. The posh way of saying lizard. So it could be I look like a lizard.
I like that.
A posh lizard.
That sounds way sexier. I'm gonna go with that.
Much sexier than like a crusty lizard.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's awesome.
What are some things that you like to do to unwind, to make yourself feel good, feel loved?
I do a lot of yoga. I love yoga. Lately I've been doing a lot of meditation. I find it really grounding and just really helped me deal with kind of the anxiety that we're all facing right now with COVID. Of course, I love to get together with girlfriends. Obviously, that's impossible right now. So we do some, Zoom meetings with kind of curl up with our favorite glass of wine and just visit and laugh and connect that way. So, yeah.
What is your favorite glass of wine?
Oh, you know
What's
what
your
I
favorite
love?
brand?
Summer Hill Winery here in Kelowna. It's so amazing. I love almost every single thing I've tried of theirs. I love their Cabernets. Yeah, lots of deep, rich reds. They're an organic winery, biodynamic as well, I believe. So yeah, they're rad.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to try it. I haven't tried any. I haven't lived in BC for a few years, so I haven't really tried any. I'm gonna have to take some of your
and Off the Grid Winery in West Kelowna, also organic, absolutely amazing. They have goats and they have lots of farm animals on their winery, so it's super fun to visit, and amazing wine as well.
How important is self-love and self-care to you?
Super important. It's a real game changer in terms of my mental health and being a mom. Like when my kids were young, obviously kind of moms come last, and you always are putting your kids first, and your household and your husband, and if you work, and it's just, I feel like women often put themselves last. And so when you're giving yourself those little self-care things, and even if it's super small, it's just so important.
I totally agree. I don't know if you ever have had this. It might happen to me today, but whenever I have to go somewhere like super important, or like, as some of you know, I'm a singer-songwriter, doing something that I have to do my makeup like amazing for, I always like screw it up. It's like all over the place. And then when I'm just going for coffee with like my girlfriends, I like have like this flawless like face.
Totally.
My suggestion for if you ever have that, ladies, bang out a bunch of selfies, because I know one day I'm gonna like be old with like bolts, like literally Frankenstein holding my face back, and I can at least look back at these selfies and say, oh, there she is.
Totally.
There she was. Those cheeks were once lifted. So on that note, how do you feel about Botox and plastic surgery? Anything from like injections to literally going under the knife, plastic surgery. What are your thoughts on that?
I am a big fan of Botox. I love look at me frown. I can't do it. Can't frown. Oh, I love that. I had like the craziest set of 11s. Like it was like you could have driven a truck up my face. And I remember when I was married, I was like 24, and my husband at the time, he's now my ex-husband, he was like, oh, what'd you do? Like, how'd you get that scar? And I was like, what scar? And he was talking about my 11s. Anyway, so needless to say, when I hit around like 30, I got Botox. I've had filler before. I don't love filler as much because I do find that it really does change your face. And so I felt a little bit like I didn't look like me anymore. But I did like having fuller lips. I just think it's really important to be careful around kind of getting kind of some dysmorphia, and you can see that a lot sometimes. Like women will just keep getting more and more and more, and all of a sudden they're not satisfied at all with what they truly look like. And I think it's really important to balance self-acceptance and self-love. I think it's okay to want to look better and want to improve our looks and prevent aging, but I just think it's really important to be mindful of what lies underneath.
I guess just don't be like the women on Botched who have like cement faces and tire rubber in their butt cheeks because they went to Guadalajara to get a good deal. But it's a tricky thing.
Yeah,
so,
and
like, do your research.
Totally. Yeah, and like just make sure you're aware of kind of what your underlying kind of beliefs and thought patterns are around it. I do think people can be so judgmental around Botox, but not around hair dye or not around braces, and those are equally as kind of, they're modifying things.
In your mind, in your mind, it's still a you're still changing something about yourself.
Yeah,
it's still doing the same thing in your head. Yeah, I totally agree.
I think to each their own.
So how did you feel feel when you saw Jillian Harris with the copy of Dear Love?
Oh, I totally fangirled.
You can disguise and hide what you feel inside, but let those feelings go. Everyone reads what's written on your face. The truth is yours to know.